Guys. So those of you who want to learn how to study calculus, well, I can't tell you exactly how, but I do have one resource. And that would be is if you go to Google and you search mathsheets.com right here, then this is my website, mathsheets.com, and I created a bunch of free learning material for various subjects. And so, importantly, I have a Calculus 1 math sheets that I spent a long time on. This was maybe a couple years ago, but I spent a really long time making this math sheets and trying to make it, sufficiently rigorous, but also like introductory to help people understand the basic concepts. So I start off with limits. I have some nice illustrations here, full explanations, continuity, discussion of the derivative, and just pictures to kind of help guide the intuition here. It's really focused on conceptual understanding, implicit differentiation. I do some kind of difficult examples. So I tried to make the examples. I feel like sometimes the examples in textbooks are too easy. So for example, for implicit differentiation, I did this kind of fun example of implicit differentiation. It was a little bit more difficult of an example. Still not too hard, it's still at Calculus 1 level, example is just a little bit more technical and involved than a normal textbook example. And then I have related rates, the infamous related rates section of calculus, and basically I have some examples that I've worked out in detail, and then I have some max-min optimization problems, which you're going to learn in calculus, Riemann integral. So construction of the integral. I have a nice exercise outlined for the reader. This is a key exercise outline for the reader, which is basically to figure out why the mean value theorem is true. And I have kind of a picture explaining what the statement of the mean value theorem, and then I ask you to kind of try and figure it out why it's true. And then in the appendix, at the end of the appendix, I give some explanations as to why it's true. But don't look at the appendix until you try to solve the problem. Okay. And then I have some discussion of volumes of rotation, which is another key misunderstanding point in first year calculus students. And then I have a full worked example of volumes of rotation. So yeah, please check this out. I really spent a lot of time on this. I really want to help people learn calculus, and I really put a lot of effort into this. So yeah, you can just find it for free at this website, mathsheets.com. And then another good resource that I'll recommend, this is not my own research source, but it's MIT OpenCourseware. So if I search up MIT OpenCourseware Calculus, it's this third option here. Then basically I can go to MIT OpenCourseware and I can click on the course description, and I can look at all these different elements, and it's going to have, let's look at session 2 of examples of derivatives here. It's going to have some videos, and then it's going to have a worked example and a problem and a solution. And so you can just go through an entire course for free, an MIT level course. And this is actually what I did when I first learned Calculus 3. Let's see if I can find it. So when I first learned Calculus 3, I did it through MIT OpenCourseware. And let's see if they still have the one that I learned from. They might have changed the website. This isn't the one that I learned from. Let me see if I can find it. I won't waste too much of your time. Yeah, I think this is it. Yeah, so session 1. Yeah, they might have, here, lecture video. Let's see if it's the same one. Yeah. This, okay, awesome. So yeah, the fall 2010 undergraduate multivariable calculus, this MIT OpenCourseware, this is what I used back in the day to study. This is literally what I used to study multivariable calculus when I was a high school student, when I was a junior in high school, I think a senior in high school. And so I just went through these videos and I solved the exercises, and there's a final exam. It goes through a lot of, the lectures are just excellent. They have a ton of resources. So I'd highly recommend those of you who are just learning calculus, just getting started, I would recommend following one of these courses on MIT OpenCourseware. And then also feel free to check out my resources on mathsheets.com. And I will just mention, I don't just have Calculus 1 math sheets, I have a even more introductory resource called a Polynomials math sheets. This is just for those of you who want to review polynomials, or for those of you who are just learning an even easier subject than calculus. We have some easier topics of what is a polynomial, line equation, graphing the line, etc., factoring a polynomial. And if you struggled with these topics, then it might be good to review them. And I condensed all of these topics into a pretty short review page, so you can just review how to manipulate polynomial expressions, and that's going to be important for you if you're studying math as a student and you want to move on to the higher levels. Well, you're going to need to know the basics, okay? So don't neglect the basics. And then also on my Math Sheets website, I'll just say I have some other more advanced resources. I have an electromagnetism resource for physics. I have a complex analysis resource, foundations of analysis. This is a nice resource. This is going into some calculus and proving some calculus, but this is going to be more along the lines of the lecture videos that I've been covering on my YouTube. So there's a foundations of analysis. And then look at this. I have another Math Sheets about calculus. This is about the Taylor series now. So once you get to the Taylor series and you start thinking about the Taylor series, I offered my own perspective on the Taylor series, and I spent a lot of time thinking about why the Taylor series works. This was pretty recent. This was like maybe a few months ago. I spent a lot of time figuring out why it works, and so I made this this tutorial on the Taylor series. So please check this out if you're studying calculus and you're learning about the Taylor series. Yeah, thanks for watching my videos, and I want to help y'all learn from my experience, because I went through this learning process, and there's a lot of things that I didn't know when I was just trying to learn math. There's a lot of things that I had to figure out along the way about how to learn and about what the right textbooks to use are, what are the right learning strategies. And it turns out that at a lower level, you really need guidance. You need lectures and homeworks and a much more guided structure. So that's why going to college for math is a good idea. But once you get to the higher levels, you're going to end up learning how to read the textbook and how to learn from the textbook. And once you get to that level where you can just learn from the textbook, and by reading the chapters and completing the exercises of the textbook, you don't need as much guidance. You still might need a little bit of guidance and to make somebody to check your work and make sure that you're, that you don't have any misunderstandings or gaps in your knowledge. But the most, like 90% of the work needs to be done at the higher level on your own through just reading the material and just solving the exercises on your own, okay? So anyways, thank you all for watching, and have a great day.